Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sports Plug here once again. You already know what to do if you are here for the first time or a recurring via visitor. Please make sure you like and share this broadcast. We are streaming on Twitch on the Sports Plug, and we are also, of course, on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, please make sure you press that subscribe button. If you have been checking us out throughout the night, we have been, of course, keeping track of Super Bowl 55 from the pregame show to the halftime show. And now we are in our post-game show, Super Bowl 55 post-game show with my guy, Ishmael Sirion. Let's get right into it. Ishmael, of course, you are a Chiefs fan. How do you feel about what we just saw with the first half and the second half of this game?
I mean, it just didn't work out for the Chiefs. Let me just say, hats off to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Tom Brady, the question can't be had anymore. He's the GOAT. That is clear. I mean, my man, they played well. They played really well. They executed the game plan on both sides of the ball. Hats off to Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich on the offensive side. Hats off to Todd Bowles on the defensive side. If Todd Bowles does not get a head coaching opportunity after next season, something is wrong because the scheme that he drew up tonight, I got to, like I said, hats off to him. That was big time. The defense, man, those guys came in, they were hungry. They definitely wanted to make a statement, and they played well all game long. The defense, all of them, I mean, hats off to y'all. Y'all played well all game long. They really shut down Tyreek Hill. I think the scheme shut him down really more so than any one particular player. But Patrick Mahomes, he had no time really. I mean, especially towards the end of the game, I was sitting there thinking like, "You're right, Andy, take my man out." The dude was limping. He was running for his life the entire game. Um, I
So
think the
what you're saying is this game reminded you of watching Deshaun Watson with the Houston Texans.
oh yeah. I mean, I would say this is a great example of when people say like, "Oh, if Deshaun Watson had an opportunity in Kansas
Play
City,
with
he
the
would be
Kansas City
better," yeah,
exactly.
and stuff like that. Like this was a great example. Like,
And I said this a lot. I'm sorry, and I said this during the game when it comes to this is now we're gonna really see how good Patrick Mahomes is moving forward when it comes to losing a Super Bowl. All the now the naysayers are going to say, well, you know, you didn't have, of course, your offensive line. You know,
no, no, no.
you didn't play your best game. You know, this, that, and the third. But like you're going to say, a lot of people feel like if Deshaun Watson had the same weapons that Patrick Mahomes did or does now, I'm sorry, he can be able to produce the same way that Patrick Mahomes does for the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, pressure really it does stifle a great quarterback. If you can bring pressure, especially with just your front four or front five, it changes the game, and that's definitely what they've been doing. I think we said it all season when we've covered the Chiefs and teams playing against them. It takes a team that is able to rush with just the front four or front five to beat this offense. And that's what they were able to do. They didn't need to blitz. The front four were getting pressure all game long, and Mahomes was running for his life. And I think early on you saw that he was able to get out of the pocket and make some runs early on. But I do think as the game wore on, the turf toe looked like it started to bother him more and more. He started limping a little bit. I think he was getting a little gun shy as well. Also, let me just say this real quick. Because the Bucks defense, like I said, man, lights out all day. But Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, if y'all call that stupid speed option with Patrick Mahomes
Oh my
ever
goodness.
again,
Oh
I'm
my
going to
goodness.
lose. I'm going to lose it, bro.
Yeah,
I
because
don't want to see that.
we were definitely expecting Mahomes to take that option all the way up the
I,
field.
Exactly. Like it's not even I don't understand that call. I've never understood that call. He's not actually going to run the ball. Everybody knows he's not going to run the ball. It's just another example of y'all putting him in a spot that he doesn't need to be in. And that's kind of how I felt like the entire game. He was being put in spots that he just didn't need to be in. Also, they started running the ball in the second half when they were behind. And you saw when they came out, the run game was actually doing all right. It was decent. I think, like, why didn't they do that in the first half? That's what came to me. I was like, yo, why didn't you run more in the first half? You came out trying to be cute. I know we said they were gonna come out guns blazing. They're gonna
Yeah,
let
they're gonna let
Patty
They're gonna
they're gonna let
Patty.
him swing that
Let him
thing.
slay that thing.
But man, I mean, I was hoping that there was going to be a little bit more balance. But hey, it is what it is. Tampa Bay played a lights out game. That right there, everybody, that was a butt whipping. That right there was just an old school butt whipping. That was a good team, a great team going out executing, and a good team, a great team, not executing at all, playing sloppy. The penalties killed them. 10 penalties, 110 yards. Like, I mean, the penalties killed
Most
them.
penalty yards in the first half in the Super Bowl era. I mean, ever. I mean, look, I understand Kansas City Chiefs fans' frustration with the first half with all the penalties. There were some questionable calls. I will be the first
I'm
one to
not
say.
even, no.
I understand, but I will be the first one to say that pass interference on Mike Evans was questionable. At first, when it looked like the flag was thrown, it looked like an easy, obvious pass interference. When the replay was shown, it did look like it might not have been, it shouldn't have been called. But with that being said, if you are a Kansas City Chiefs fan, again, we talked about this in this show, Ish. You have to erase the first half and play this second half. And it just seemed like the Kansas City Chiefs never got in a rhythm in any part of this game. And they ended up with 9 points. And with that being said,
No touchdowns.
you're never going to win it's not a Super Bowl. You're not going to win an NFL game scoring 9 points, okay?
Hey, the Browns did it
I got you. But with
against
that
the
being
Texans. But
okay, but this ain't Super, but that ain't Super Bowl. With that being said, you have to play through the rest. We talk about this all the time in football. No matter what level of football you play on, you have to play through the referees because you do not want them being able to control the outcome of the game.
hey, honestly, one thing that I like you bringing that up, because one thing that I saw that really kind of bothered me, and that we spoke on a little bit before the game, was Tyrann Mathieu in like his mentality and how he brings that defense together. He kind of galvanizes the entire defense and helps them go. But unfortunately tonight he did not do that. Unfortunately tonight they got in his head.
It
He
did.
lost it a little bit.
Tom Brady. I mean,
Tom Brady.
I know everybody saw that little back and forth between Tyrann Mathieu and Tom Brady. We see Tom Brady get emotional from time to time, but we don't know. When's the last time we've ever seen Tom Brady run up on another defensive player and get up in his face like that? During a Super Bowl II, when I saw that, that was a wrap. I already knew it was a wrap after that.
Honestly, it got into Tyron's head. It got into
Chris Jones'
head. Dude,
Breland,
they were on the defense.
they were killing
I don't
them.
know what they were doing. Like, they got into their head real quick because they started acting out. After plays, you could see it. The one touchdown that they had where Leonard Fournette ran it in. Oh boy, I forgot his name. It's slipping me right now. 35. My boy started jogging. He didn't even run it through to try to catch the man. Like, I was just like, yo, this is done. Like, the body language, everything was done.
I have a question because I love this comment from Greg Turner. He says playing through the rest, messing up sounds easier said than done. The Chiefs could never bounce back. Now,
I don't think that's true.
And I'm happy that you say that because I want you to pretty much piggyback on what I'm saying. We've seen, and I said this in a pregame show, we've seen Patrick Mahomes come back in the second half despite what happens in the first half, the third quarter. We see him make a play in the fourth, be able to galvanize the team and make a run. And you cannot keep blaming and holding on to calls that happened in the first quarter or the second quarter for what's going on 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter.
Not even that. Like, you're making a great point, but I think it's not even that. Like, you're giving them too much credit. Like, not even in the fourth quarter. All those drives that you had where you got into the red zone or you got onto the to the opponent's side of the field and you kicked the field goal. Like, dude, that's not the ref stopping you. Like, y'all just didn't execute. You didn't score. In Tampa Bay, Todd Bowles, they had the scheme ready. They played their butts off. They knew what they wanted to do. They came to make a statement. Again, the team is undefeated since they lost to Kansas City. Clearly, that loss to Kansas City, the butt whipping that Tyreek Hill put on them in the first quarter, it rubbed them the wrong way, and they responded. Like that right there is responding to adversity. They got embarrassed
Thank
in
you,
the first
Ish.
quarter,
Thank
and
you.
that group came together and they decided, hey, you know what? Yeah, it happened in the first quarter. From now on, it's not going to happen again. And ever since that game, they have not lost. So it just has to be said. Todd Bowles got his guys together. I don't know what he said. I don't know what the captains of that defense said. But either way, they came together as a unit and they decided it wasn't going to happen again. And they were on a mission this game. You saw it after every play. You saw it after every incompletion. And let me just say to the kids out there that are growing up, you watching the Super Bowl, you want to play in the NFL one day. Let me say something about this game. A lot of it is your mental. A lot of it is your preparation. A lot of it is how you approach the game. You being on the field, that's all well and good. It sounds good to be out there and make plays, but you are able to make those plays when you prepare the right way, when you have the right mentality, when you approach the game as a professional. And let me just say, this Tampa Bay defense, they just proved and showed to all of you young guys out there how you need to approach this game. They were playing as a team. They were playing as a unit. They were prepared. They were trusted in their scheme and their coaching staff. And you could see they were having fun. Like after every incompletion, you could see they were doing it. Even old boy Whitfield, when he gave the little peace sign to Tyreek Hill, like I'm not gonna lie, as a Kansas City fan, that rubbed me the wrong way because I was like, y'all, 9 times out of 10, my boy's gonna come in and Tyreek Hill's gonna blow past y'all. But hey, y'all had the scheme today. Y'all did it the right way today. So I couldn't even really be mad. As a player, I loved it. As a defensive player, I loved it because you know what? They did come out and they held them to 0 touchdowns. 0 touchdowns. One of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. One of the most exciting quarterbacks in the NFL. 0 touchdowns. Kansas City Chiefs, both the team and the fans, we got to hold that. No touchdowns in the Super Bowl. That is embarrassing.
To be honest with you, Ish, I needed to let you go. I needed to let you just vent out because you needed that. You need to let not just yourself know this, but Chief Nation know what's going. Or sorry, Chief Kingdom know what's going on with this game. This doesn't change the way that I think the Chiefs fans look at Patrick Mahomes or this team or Andy Reid or anything like that. It's just we finally had our bad game. And we had it at the wrong time. We had it at the wrong time.
Also,
and it happened against a guy, and it happened against a guy that we can say, you know what? It's Tom Brady. I mean, it is what it is.
Again.
Let's run it back next year, and you know, I have no problems going with my guy Patty Mahomes in the AFC, and we can go about it that way. But for the time being, what Tom Brady was able to accomplish. It's just pretty much what Ish was reiterating prior to is that Tom Brady does the little things. He does everything that you're supposed to do as a leader, as a captain, as a quarterback, not just a quarterback, but just as somebody that is looked up to in this organization at a high regard. You don't even have to be a quarterback, but you have to be somebody that people look up to and say, if that person is working this hard, I have to work as this hard as well too to be on the level he is. Tom Brady, as much as people do not like him, you still have to respect the greatness because this just showed in this year with Corona, with being on a new team, with the way that the team started off in the first couple of weeks of the season. You have to tip your hats to Tom Brady for what he was able to accomplish in this game. And at the moment, he has more rings than the team that he just left. For him to have 7 and the New England Patriots have 6, I mean, that's pretty remarkable in itself.
Hey, man, hats off to Tom Brady. I mean, he did it again. I need to have a talk with Byron Leftwich, though. Because I feel like there's some sort of conspiracy going on. Because Gronkowski didn't look that good all season. All of a sudden, Gronkowski come in. This old Gronkowski against.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that was the part of the game plan. You don't want to use them up in the whole. I mean, let's remember the beginning of the season. They got on Gronk on why he wasn't getting used enough.
Yeah, because he wasn't blocking. They were talking about he was brought in to block and
brought in the block. Yes, exactly.
And where was that at? Like, why? Nah, let the
It's
man block
playoff. It's
against the
playoff
Chiefs.
Gronk time. It's playoff and Super Bowl
Nah,
Gronk time. So that's what it was. It
nah.
was
I
Brady
wanted them
to.
to keep that
It was Brady
energy
to
and let
Gronk.
him block against the Chiefs. I'm real upset that they decided to go back to old Gronkowski and let this man go out here and score some touchdowns against us. Like that's uncalled for. I think there's a conspiracy going on.
Oh
Something
Lord, here we
happened.
go.
Nah, something happened, man. They injected him with something.
Okay, I will say this because this is to me. I feel like this is a great time to let everybody know if you
Mm-hmm.
head to your local Seven Spice
Mm.
and go ahead and mention the Sports Plug, you'll go ahead and get your free chicken tender basket, courtesy of the Sports Plug, March 1st through 7th. And all you have to do is just mention the Sports Plug and tag Seven Spice in the Sports Plug in your picture on Facebook or Instagram to let everybody know that you visited Seven Spice.
And Seven Spice won't let you down, unlike the Chiefs.
And that's your words, not mine, sir. That's your words, not mine. All right. To get back to the Super Bowl, what we just saw, moving forward ish, I think this is a great opportunity for us in the football world that likes Patrick Mahomes, that want to see him, excel. For now this is the next phase of Patrick Mahomes to see if you can face adversity. Tom Brady. I
Oh,
mean, what you can. I mean, yeah, all you want to. Tom Brady
oh.
has won Super Bowls. Tom Brady has lost Super Bowls. Let's remember, we've seen Aaron Rodgers get to Super Bowls, to get to a Super Bowl and not go back. We've seen Drew Brees get to a Super Bowl, not go back. We've seen Dan Marino get to a Super Bowl, not go back. Patrick Mahomes was able to get back to one. But what I'm saying is, it's not promised. Just
Oh
because
yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Brady has gone 10 times, it is not promised and it's not guaranteed. We do not know Patrick Mahomes' career path in the next 5 to 10 years. We hope to see him again in the big dance, but you have guys like Josh Allen. You have guys like Ryan Tannehill with the Titans. You have guys like Lamar Jackson. I'm just throwing out there in the AFC. I'm just saying you have
Stop.
guys in the
Don't
AFC.
throw the Oilers in
I'm
there.
just throwing out teams in the AFC that can compete and maybe show up one of these games to where this might be the beginning of the end of their dynasty. I'm not
Mm,
saying next year. I'm not saying in 2 or 3 years. I'm just saying that's why this is a beautiful game. We love call football, and all these games are played on the field, and we have to wait and see what happens because beginning of the season, nobody expected Tom Brady to come to the. First of all, nobody expected Tom Brady to be on the Buccaneers in the first place. And when he picked the Buccaneers, everybody laughed. And if you would have told people that Tom Brady led the Buccaneers to the Super Bowl, you would have got laughed at again.
no,
So,
I don't know that you would have been
no,
laughing,
you
but
would have
yeah,
got laughed at. You
a
would have
lot of
got
people
laughed
would have
at.
been like, "Hey, I don't
Because
see it
people would have picked
happening."
Drew Brees before that. I
Oh
mean, let's be
yeah,
real. Going into
Aaron Rodgers, Drew
That's
Brees.
what
A
I'm
lot of people
saying.
were
Like,
expecting them to win it.
so for what he was able to, he did the LeBron, but in his first year,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
LeBron won
true.
in his second year, coming from
In a
east to the
lot harder
west.
sport, in a lot harder sport to do it.
So again, I mean, the GOAT conversation is over with. We don't even need to have the conversation anymore. It needs to be about more of how long can Tom Brady really play and
Hey,
at this level.
let me say this. This may be one of the greatest Super Bowl runs in the history. I
Yeah,
mean, look
yeah.
again. We talk
We
about
talked
the
about this.
quarterbacks he went
We
through.
talked about this.
I mean, without the first round, let's look at who he went through after that. And to talk about the quarterbacks he had to go through: Breeze, he had to go through Rodgers, he had to go through Mahomes. I mean, hey, that is a big Super Bowl run right there. And to do it in the fashion that he did it, again, man, he is the GOAT. Like, let's stop talking about it. The man is the GOAT. And I think that they have a really good shot to be back again. I mean, the defense is young. They got a lot of playmakers on the defensive side. On the offensive side, they got a lot of weapons. I mean, they can come back again. Also, you got to think in Green Bay, like, how are they going to adjust? Is Green Bay going to be able to come back and can Aaron Rodgers do what he did this year? You got to look in New Orleans with Drew Brees most likely retiring. Like, what's going to happen there? There are a lot of things to look at.
Is he retiring though?
Right, we'll see, but
I mean,
a lot of signs are pointing
restructured his
to
contract.
yeah, so that when he retires, that they have money.
I mean, or maybe restructured his contract so he can come back one more
Maybe,
season. That's what I'm
yeah,
looking
and get
at.
pieces around him. Yeah, I
That's
mean, I
what
can
I'm
see it.
looking at.
I can see it. Matt Stafford in LA. How's that going to happen? If a trade happens with Deshaun Watson, where is he going? Carson Wentz, where is he going? There are a lot of things in this offseason that, Tampa Bay could definitely be back, or you could see a new kid on the block. As far as the AFC and Kansas City, like you were saying, of not being guaranteed Super Bowls, I mean, they were able to make it back to back years. Doesn't happen. A lot of people can't make it one time. They did it back to back. I think this year was a great example of injuries taking a toll at the wrong time, right?
Of
Like
course,
you lose Eric Fisher in
because
the
when you lose
championship
Fisher, we talked
game.
about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
when you lost
I mean
Fisher, that was big.
that was a really big one because you were already kind of banged up on that offensive line. Then to lose Fisher, I mean that really kind of sealed the deal for them. I think it changed it changed the game really for them. But if you can get people back healthy next year, you can, stay relatively healthy again next year because really they were pretty healthy this year. A lot of teams face a lot of injury issues. The Kansas City Chiefs weren't really one of those guys. And if they can do that again, I can see them getting back. I think Patrick Mahomes has everything in the makeup to make it back. He's got the right organization there with him. And he's got the right people around him. Again, the Chiefs are young as well. They got a lot of young pieces that can make it back to the Super Bowl. But you do still have, like you said, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs in Buffalo. That is a scary combination that they're going to be hungry, ready to go. You do have Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, and you want to see what Baltimore is able to do, and whether Lamar Jackson is able to make some changes.
Especially in all season.
Yeah, you do have the AFC South where you got Tannehill and the Colts. We still have to see what's going to happen at the quarterback position for the Colts, but they're going to be ready to come back and compete. So, yeah, there's a lot of teams. It's really hard to make it to the Super Bowl, but these two teams, I think they have the right stuff to be back again. It's just going to be, are you going to be healthy? Are you going to be able to face through, make it through some of this adversity? What kind of moves do you make in the off season? That's going to dictate it. But as a Chiefs fan, I'm not worried, man. I think that we got a bright future. We have the right organization, the right coaching staff around them. Eric Bieniemy is only going to be back to help out again. You got Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Not very many teams can do what the Bucs did tonight. Let me just say that. And also with the healthy O-line, with the healthy Patrick Mahomes, not many teams can do it. We've seen a lot of teams try, but it's a lot harder. Even knowing the game plan, it's a lot harder to execute when you're actually out there on the field. And again, I just want to highlight that the Tampa Bay defense, they did exactly what they needed to do tonight. They played their butts off. They executed that game plan to the best of their ability. And nobody should take anything away from them. All these people complaining about the refs on social media, stop it. They executed, man. They did what they needed to do because Kansas City had opportunities to score and Tampa Bay, they stopped them. Plain and simple, they stopped them. I don't care about all that penalty nonsense. Like, yeah, some of them were ticky-tack from me. Yeah, they were debatable. But at the end of the day, Tampa Bay executed when they needed to execute, and that's why they won this game. Plain and simple.
Nah, I agree with you on that one, Ish. I'm just checking out the box score just one more time when it comes to stats wise. One thing I hate about stats and people that know me, they know that I say all the time stats lie. People love saying stats, numbers never lie. That's BS because you can win you can win the numbers all you want to all the time. A lot of people feel some type of way also with the Defensive Player of the Year award with Aaron Donald winning compared to TJ Watt. A lot of people, especially JJ Watt, felt like because he had better numbers, he deserved the award. Well, if we look at what we're watching on the field and what's going on the field, that tells more of the story than the stat line. And
like it's the award is not most statistically great player.
Exactly.
It's the most valuable player.
Exactly.
Okay?
And that's another topic for another day. Of course, we'll definitely wrap up the NFL, of course, next week. We'll get into that as well. But stats wise, total plays 69 to 63, Chiefs passing yardage. Total yardage overall was 350 to 340. So of course, not that big of a difference. But the main two things, of course,
most of those yards came in garbage time.
It did, but the main two things that are the biggest factors of the games with the penalties, which Kansas City had 11 compared to 4, and the turnovers. The turnovers was Kansas City had 2-0, and at the end of the day, you're not going to win too many games when you are turning the ball over twice. You have 11 turnover. I mean, 11
Zero
penalties,
touchdowns.
and zero touchdowns and 3 field goals. I understand the referees might have played a part in the game, but at the end of the day, you just played a bad game. I mean, and it's okay to say that. You just unfortunately did it at the wrong time. And it sucks, but this is, I think it's good for the Chiefs. You need a little humble pie from time to time. You need a little bit of that castor oil to sip on. It don't taste good, but it's good for you. So I'm excited to see what the Chiefs look like next year. I hope they come out hungry because we know that they will. They won't have they'll win 10 games next year at least, 11, 12, depending on them. But like you said with this year, it's not about the regular season. It's the playoffs and the Super Bowl for them.
Yep.
So we're gonna wait and see what happens with them next year. Going into, the regular season is not the thing for them. It's going into the postseason, how they look health wise,
Yep.
what additions they make in
Mm-hmm.
before trade deadline, and just other things like that. On
The
if they
pieces
can
around them.
keep the
I think
culture, keep the core.
Sammy Watkins,
Is
Miko
gone.
Hardman. Miko Hardman's going to need to step it up.
Oh, okay.
Who are you putting as the backup behind Clyde Edwards-Helaire? I think that's a big one as well. That offensive line, shoring up that offensive line, and then on the defensive side, man, we got to make some adjustments on that side. I mean, they are good, and like I said, I still hold that they're a really good defense. But some people got exposed in this game, and there's going to need to be some talks and some adjustments made to strengthen that side a little bit.
Now, do you feel like, and we talked about this in the pregame show, is the linebacker situation an issue with Kansas
Oh yeah, yeah.
City?
I definitely think we need an upgrade there.
Now, also, the DBs. I mean, it seemed like DBs got a little exposed.
To me,
Is that
to me,
something
the
that might need
DBs
to be
have
addressed?
been. I think the DBs to me have been a weakness all year. But because of Chris Jones, Frank Clark, the front, we've been able to get pressure on a lot of people and kind of keep it a little under wraps as far as DBs. I do think we've had some issues. Also, Tyrann Mathieu has been flying around and everything, making plays. But one thing that did get exposed is that he is not a man-to-man like lockdown defender.
Oh no, not at
So
all. I
when
mean,
you
it's a
put
reason
yourself
why
in that kind of
he plays that nickel safety
yeah,
aspect.
yeah.
It saves him. He can't play corner.
So I mean, you may need to get a guy. I think we do need a guy that can be like that shutdown guy, or at least get a guy that's going to be able to match up with like these tight ends or some of these guys in the slot. Because like we've seen from tonight, and like we've seen with Las Vegas, some teams that are building to beat the Chiefs, that's how they're trying to beat the Chiefs. They're trying to get speed that they can set in the slot, or get a bigger body in the slot that they can kind of take advantage of some of these matchups or mismatches that they got on this Chiefs side of the defense. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to make a couple of adjustments there on the defense side. Nothing too drastic. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like we need a total overhaul or like, oh, we got to cut all these people. Like, no, I think a spot here or there, you make a change, you get a little bit more depth there. It makes all the difference in the world.
Now, for the Chiefs moving forward, is is this the starting of the changing of the guard? Is
As
Andy
far as like
Reid
them taking
head
over,
coach, Eric Bieniemy? Again, we talked about in the pregame show. I feel like Eric Bieniemy might most likely become the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs when Andy Reid retires. We also do know about Andy Reid and situation with his son. I'm not saying that it's going to lead him to retire, but what I'm saying is Andy Reid is an individual that has a lot going on besides on the football field. Do we see him maybe sooner rather than later saying I need to go ahead and take a step away from the game and handle the things I need to handle outside of football? Or do we also feel like because some of these coaches they need football because they go crazy if they are away from football, right? Do
mhm.
we all do, or is it in the Andy Reid situation that he needs football to actually stay sane because of the things that are going on in his real life?
I don't think he needs it, and I don't think that anything in his life, like some of this off the field of stuff that's going on, I don't think that's going to cause him to retire early. I think it's really just up to him. Like when he's ready to walk away, he's going to be ready to walk away. and I think that he's prepared some of those people in the organization to take over when it is time for him to walk away. I expect him to be back for a couple more years. I think, especially with Patrick Mahomes being tied up with that 10-year contract, I mean, you've got the stability at the most important position in football that you need, right? So, like, there's no reason for Andy Reid to have to step away. There's nothing this year that I would say gives me any indication that he even is close to considering retiring. I think that Eric Bieniemy's contract is up after this game, and they're gonna restructure that. They're gonna re-sign him,
Yeah.
obviously. And I think that deal is really going to be the most telling deal, because to me, I think that that's the deal that they're going to set him up to take over for Andy Reid whenever he's done. Like, that's going to be it. Eric Bieniemy, I mean, if I'm Eric Bieniemy, why not just stay in Kansas City and wait and take over after Andy Reid is done?
I mean, that's how I feel. I feel
A
like
lot
you
of
can at
a
least
lot
get
of
one
these,
Super Bowl out of him, out of
hey,
Patrick Mahomes.
but the loyalty that you have in Kansas City right now, I feel good with that situation. I feel like there are a lot of these organizations haven't picked you. I mean, 2 years running. Why would I leave and go somewhere else when I got an organization that believes in me, that trusted me, that have set me up to succeed right there in Kansas City? So
A lot of time, the grass is not green on the other side.
that's true. That's true. I mean, and a lot of people found out, like Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles went to New York Jets. I mean, wasn't very successful. Look at him now. He's in Tampa Bay. He won a Super Bowl, and I would say a lot of this victory is owed to Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles did what he needed to do. He gave the scheme. He came up with that golden scheme to stop that offense. So, like I said, Todd Bowles, if he does not get a head coaching opportunity at the end of next season, something's up with that, man.
Well, unfortunately, with Todd Bowles, I don't think he'll get a second look right off the bat because he's not a sexy name. Let me put it.
Hey,
Let me,
you
let me
don't,
put it.
and
He's not a
I
sexy
understand.
name
I
because he's
understand a lot of.
not the young hot coordinator
Yep,
coming
I
under
got you.
Sean McVay
Mm-hmm.
or Kyle
Cliff
Shanahan or
Kingsbury.
Cliff
Mm-hmm.
King. And that's unfortunately what folks will use as an excuse not to hire him. But at the end of the day, we see a lot of these head coaches get another head coaching opportunity after another head coaching opportunity after another. We just saw with Adam Gase go from the Miami Dolphins to the New York Jets. We've seen Rex Ryan go from the Jets to the Bills. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. I'm just saying there are times where some of these coaches are able to get head coaching jobs like this and don't have to go and be a coordinator, an offense or defense coordinator for a long time, unless that is what they're good at, like a Wade Phillips, Steve Spagnuolo, or a couple other coordinators that have tried being a head coach. They failed, and they just say, you know what, I need to go ahead and stick with this position because this is sorry about that, because this is what I'm good at, and I am in hot demand. Anytime one of my friends get fired and they get a job, I know I'm going to get a call from somebody.
Hey, and there's a problem with that, but at the same time, for Todd Bowles, hey, if the worst that the league has to offer of not giving you a head coaching job is you staying in Tampa Bay and competing for a championship, whatever. Same thing for Eric Bieniemy. And let me just say this: I forgot to highlight this before the game started. Shout out to the 3 African American coordinators that were in this game. Like, hey, that's a big feat. 3 out of the 4 major coordinators in this game were African Americans. That was a really big statement, a really big thing, a really big deal. And hey, they showed out. 2 of them definitely showed out. Byron Leftwich, you did your thing. Great play calling. I know Bruce Arians kind of helps out with those play calls. Or maybe he calls plays sometimes, who knows? But either way, Byron Leftwich, I'm gonna give you props. Great job. Todd Bowles, again, I just cannot emphasize enough. That was, I mean, magnificently done. The blitz, the corner blitz, double corner blitz on 3rd down. Oh my God.
That was
I love
scary.
that cowboy, man.
That was
Keep calling
scary.
the cowboy blitz for him. And then
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy, hey, he'll be back. He'll bounce back. They'll be back. The Chiefs, I expect the Chiefs to be back, putting up numbers again next year, doing the same thing that they've been doing. So, hey.
And
Great job.
speaking of being back, I expect all y'all to go ahead and be back at Seven Spice Cajun
Yes.
Seafood Restaurant. Go ahead and get y'all a free chicken tender basket sandwich.
Free.
Or sorry, I keep saying the sandwich. My bad. I
Yeah,
apologize.
chicken
Free
tender
chicken tender basket. Go ahead
basket.
and get you one March 1st to the 7th. Mention the sports plug, and also make sure you tag Seven Spice in the sports plug on Facebook or Instagram. Please make sure you do that at any one of these 9 locations. We'll go ahead and
Nine
put that up. We'll
locations.
go ahead and put that up on our Instagram and also our Facebook.
Oh, and real quick, for all of our viewers that are not in the Houston area, we are working on trying to get something for y'all too. Like, we don't want y'all to feel left out. I know our sponsorship just happens to be here where we are located, but we are going to figure something out for y'all too. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you're following, make sure you're tuning in, because we are trying to work on getting something for you guys out there that don't happen to be located in Houston. We want everybody to eat. All
Because
right.
y'all are family, we appreciate y'all for supporting us. So we gonna make sure we take care of y'all. Y'all tune
Definitely.
in. ESPN don't get y'all no free food.
Mm-mm.
When Fox Sports ever hooked y'all up with some free food?
I
It's only on
mean,
the
come on.
plug. I'm just saying. I'm just
Come on.
saying. Come on now. I'm just saying. Come on. Anyways. With that being said, Ish, the season is over.
Man.
I mean, we this is our first year starting the sports plug. We were able to capture this first year of NFL football during this COVID season. This has been a long/short season, like I said in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
And now it is February 5th? Sorry, February 7th, and the season is over with. And by the time that we put our heads down and look back up, we will be in training camp. So with that being said, I am excited for. I'm happy that we were able to have this season. Even though, to be honest with you, I was not expecting for the NFL to be able to make it through the season due to COVID.
Yep, I
But
agree.
shout out to them and shout out for them for being able to handle everything with the COVID cases. You know, did have a couple of outbreaks for a couple of teams, but
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, they were able to take care of everything. And moving forward, hopefully next season maybe we can get some fans back into the stands,
Yep.
because I don't care what anybody says. This football season was cool to watch, but it would have been 10 times better with fans in the stands, because fans will also make this game when it comes to a home field advantage.
Oh yeah.
Who knows how some of these games would have turned
Lambeau could have been
if
different.
Lambeau,
New Orleans could have been
Superdome,
different. Yeah.
Seattle, Buffalo, we don't know how some of these games would have been if we had home field advantages like it should have been. And I'm excited to see some of these, these new stadiums that got built with fans in the stands. I'm talking about the Las Vegas Raiders, the LA
Yep.
Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see, these mega arenas finally come to fruition with these fans in there, and again, hopefully get back to some type of normalcy, whatever that is.
Most definitely, man.
Now, Ish, before we get up out of here for the night, because I don't want to hold everybody too long, we pretty much talked about what we need to talk about for today, and for the ones that don't know, because me and Ish and I have talked about it. We haven't put it out there yet, but we will do a NFL season recap next week. So join us next Sunday. We will do a NFL season recap with Ish and I, and maybe a couple of guests. Just wait and see. But we will do a full season recap, and we'll talk about the highs, the lows, the good, the bads, and of course the uglies. But for the most part, is there anything else you want to talk about before we get up out of here for the night, Super Bowl wise ish?
I mean, no, it was a great game. Not great in the way
Not for
that
the
I
Chiefs,
thought it was
probably.
going to
Yeah,
be. Not great in the way that I thought it was
if
going to
you
be.
feel like it was a great game, I mean, hey, that's on
Hey,
you.
I mean, I'm a defensive guy at the end of the day, and to see what they did as far as the Tampa Bay, I keep bringing it back to it because as a defensive guy, man, it was a great game. They did a great job. To see those guys fly around and execute it the way they executed, I mean, it was great to watch. As much, even though it was against my team, it was still great to watch. It's always great to see good football, and I mean,
Oh yeah, I agree.
good football. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just ready for the next season to start. I'm ready to start getting into some of these pro days, getting to the draft, some of this offseason news. I'm ready for Carson Wentz to get traded.
Uh-oh.
All these
Oh,
things. I want to see all these.
hey, I will say for
Andrew
the
Luck may
people,
come back.
hey, for the people that's out there listening, any NFL big news that drops, we will cover it here on the Sports Plug. If
We will
Wentz
be
gets
there.
traded, if Andrew Luck comes out of retirement, if whatever happens, we promise we will go live.
We will
And we
be there.
definitely will talk about it. So just stay tuned. Make sure if whatever you're listening on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, make sure you set those reminders. So anytime that we go live, you get notified and you know that we are live and you want to tune in and check us out and also comment and join the show with us, because the show is great with Ish and I, but we love our fan interaction. We love the people that are tuning in, making sure that you guys comment, because it makes this show that much better, because we are able to have this, instead of a 1-2 conversation, we get to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way to the 5th conversation.
Yeah, we love talking with y'all. We love hearing y'all's input. All you guys that comment on the videos, we love it. We love to see it. Everybody that's commenting on the post, we definitely love that, man. Thank you guys for tuning in all season. We really appreciate it. Man, it's just been a good first year. It's only gonna keep getting better.
It's gonna get better. It's gonna get bigger. It's gonna get more fun. More giveaways. I'm letting y'all know right now. The more y'all continue to tune in, the more free stuff y'all get. The more fun y'all gonna get to have tuning into this show, and the more fun we get to have with you guys. So
we're working.
I'm excited.
We're gonna keep perfecting our craft, man. We're gonna work at it, and we're gonna keep trying to find new things to, get new guests on, new segments. Again, keep commenting on the post and let us know on these videos also what you guys want to see.
Want to see? Yeah,
let us know
what you want to see. We're here to help you out, and y'all here to help us out. So
exactly,
let us know.
Hey, and one way y'all can help us out real quick before we go, y'all can help us out by going to 7 Spice and getting yourself a free chicken tender.
Let them know.
Okay,
let them know.
7 Spice, March 1st through the 7th. You can go there, mention the Sports Plug, and you get yourself a free chicken tender basket. I know we keep saying it, but hey,
we're gonna say it again.
There's nothing better than something that is free. Free chicken tender basket.
Free.
If you show up to 7 Spice Cajun Seafood.
At any one of these 9 locations: FM 1960 Galleria, Gulf Freeway, I-45 Wayside, Humble and 59, Katy, Missouri City, North Freeway, I-45, Pearland, South Houston, Fuqua, and I-45.
There you go.
So, with that being said, Ish, that'll wrap it up today. Or I'm sorry, for tonight. It's been a long Sunday. We've been on the airwaves literally all day, from our boy Dat Man Dooley to our pregame show with our guy KC out in Iowa for Just Another Football Show, to our postgame show with Just You and I with the Sports Plug. That'll do it for season 1 of the NFL of the Sports Plug, and we will see y'all next week when we wrap up the NFL season. Please make sure you guys join us. We will, of course, have the times and dates for that episode. But, wow, it was a hell of a COVID season. I'm excited for 2021-2022 season.
Oh, yeah. It's been real, man.
Yes, sir. See you guys next time.